Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma rabbi zidni ilma. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Amin. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. The topic of this lecture is important concepts of linear combinations of normal variables. For this lecture, I am using the work of one of my best student, Miss Laiba Gulzar of class 2021, the Lyceum. An important advice for me and for everyone: we should be kind and we should be humble. Properties of expectation for sums and products for both. Number one, expectation of constant is always constant, meaning if we have four observations and each observation is same like 5, then their mean will be 5 and their variance will be 0, because there is no variation of the observations from their mean. So mean of the constant is always constant. This means the mean of 5 is always 5. This is the property and this is the example. If something is multiplying with x, then we have to bring that thing outside the bracket, meaning this coefficient will come out from this bracket. And you have to write this as a times ex. Like in this case, this will become 5 times ex. You have to bring this coefficient outside the bracket and write in this way. Now, by combining these two properties, we have this ax plus b. This is the coefficient, whereas this is the constant. So this coefficient will come out from the bracket and it will become a times ex, and the mean of constant is constant. Like in this case, we did this. The example of this property is this: 5x plus 7. This 5 is coefficient of x and this 7 is constant. So 5 ex plus 7. The mean of constant is constant. A and b are the coefficients of x and y. This is the capital Y. Always write capital X and capital Y in ex and vx. They are fine here. Well, this coefficient will come out from this bracket and it will become a times ex, and this will become b times ey. In this example, we can simplify this as 5 times ex, 7 times ey. In expectation, signs remain the same. If we have positive sign, it will remain positive. What if we had negative here, then it would be negative. Like in this case, we have negative, so we have negative sign. The signs will remain same. So this will become 3ex minus 2ey. Properties of variance are very important, especially for sums. Now this is for products. Variance of constant is 0. Why? Because if all observations are equal to 5, if we have 4 observations and all observations are same, then there is no variation of the observation from their mean. Therefore, variance of constant is always 0. Variance of 3 is 0. Variance of 5 is 0. Variance of any constant is 0. Because no variation in constant, hence 0. Because variance tells the variation of the observations from their mean. When all observations are same, then there is no variation. Now, since we are doing properties for products, therefore coefficient will become square. I mean, this a will become a square. You have to give power 2 to the coefficient, because this coefficient is the multiple of x. So a square vx. This 3 is multiple of x. This is basically 3 times x. 3 times of x. So 3 is multiple, so it will become 3 square. This a is multiple, this is constant. This a will become a square and this constant will become 0. The variance of constant is 0. So this 5 is multiple of x, so it will become, this is capital X, This was capital, but I just wanted to make it clear. So this 5x plus 3 will become 5 square vx, and constant, the variance of constant is 0. A and b both are multiples of x and y. So a square, b square vy. 5 square, 3 square vy. In variance, signs are always positive. These signs are always positive. So if we have negative sign, we have to write positive because variance cannot be negative. Make sure you always expand the brackets of variance with positive sign, no matter you have positive or negative here. Example of the properties of variance and mean in fact as well. Given A follows normal distribution with mean 175 and variance 60 square, B follows normal with mean this and variance this. Requirement: find the probability that a randomly chosen of type A object is at least twice, now this is very important, multiple of the type B. Twice means the product case, meaning A is greater equal to 2B. At least means greater equal, twice means multiple of B, 2B. This means, this information means this thing. Now you have to bring this 2B on left side of the inequality to get this inequality. Always bring variables on left side. Now get the expectation and variance of this quantity. You need this probability. Make sure you understand these three steps. This is the given information. Bring this 2B on left side. Now write this thing as P form, probability. Now work for the expectation and variance of this quantity. A minus 2B. In expectation, signs remain same. So minus means minus. So this will become EA and this will become 2EB. And that's the answer of expectation. Expectation, you can denote expectation by mu. Now A minus 2B. But important thing is in variance, two things are important. Since we are doing the product case, so we have to give square to this 2. And number 2, we have to change the sign, this negative to positive, because we always expand bracket of variance with positive signs. So V of A plus 2 square V of B. Square 2 because 2 is a multiple of B. Whenever the coefficient is multiple, then you always need to give power 2 to that coefficient because the case is product. This is the sigma square. Now substitute everything into Z formula. You all know this is the formula of Z, and you all know how to get this probability. I'm leaving this part because some students do this with 1 minus phi. Some students use calculator method. It's your choice. I'm writing for those students who use phi, 1 minus 5.426, and they know how to handle this calculation. If you want to be good at the phi thing and like the use of latest calculator, normal distribution with latest calculator, you must watch my lectures on normal distribution. I've made 4 lectures on normal distribution. If you want to be good at normal distribution, make sure you have watched all the 4 lectures, or at least lecture 1 and 2. Make sure you must watch these. You have watched these lectures. For sums, now this is very important. Don't square the coefficients of the variables. For example, if we have 3 independent x, if we have 3 observations, so if we will add these 3x, we'll get 3x. This 3 means total. This 3 is not multiple of x. Make sure you understand this concept well. When you add 3 independent values of x, then this will become 3x. This thing will become 3x, and this 3 is not multiple of x. So you don't need to square this 3. This thing is extremely important of this chapter. whenever you work for sums means totals, you never give power 2 to the coefficient of the variables. Now this is the question. Three independent observations of x are greater than two independent observations of y. We need this probability. So what should we do? First, simplify these two. You'll get 3x 2y. Bring this 2y on left side. So you will get 3x minus 2y greater than 0. Now this 3 and this 2 are not multiples of x and y. Now work for their mean and variance. In mean, there is no issue. Whether the number is multiple or not, we always write the number as it is in mean. And we always copy the sign as it is. So mean is not a problem. The main problem is variance. In variance, we never give a square to the coefficient when coefficient is not multiple of variable. We will not give a square these two, this 3 and this 2. See, when you will work for variance, you just need to write 3 as it is, 2 as it is. Variance is always, the bracket of variance is always expanded with plus sign. So don't square this number and don't square this number. Why? Because these numbers are not multiples. These numbers are totals. Summary. If a and b are not multiples of x and y, then don't square the numbers. Just copy the numbers as it is. And if we have negative sign here, then that negative will become positive, because variance is always, the bracket of variance is always expanded by plus sign, with plus sign in fact. Now we have this question: A follows normal, B follows normal. Requirement: find the probability that the total of 4 randomly chosen type A objects and 6 randomly chosen type B objects is less than 1500. Now 4 randomly chosen of type A means A plus A plus A plus A. That means 4A. Now this 4 is not multiple. So 4 randomly chosen type A means 4A. 6 randomly chosen type B means 6B. And the sum of these two is less than 1500. We need this probability. Since these two coefficients are not multiple, so we will not give power 2 to these two coefficients while working for variance. So number one, work for expectation, 4a plus 6b. So 4 is as it is. In expectation, we copy the numbers as it is. We copy the sign as it is. This is the expectation. And in variance, make sure you will not give power 2 to these two coefficients. Copy 4 as it is and 6 as it is. And this is the variance. Now use Z formula. And you'll get this thing. For other students who use 5 method, I'm writing this is as 2.229. Now they can manage this calculation themselves. That's the final answer. Equations. Well, in equations, the coefficients are multiples. We treat them as multiples. When equation is given, then this number is always multiple of this variable. When the equation of this type are given, then when the equations of this type are given, the coefficient of x, that is a, is always the multiple of x. That means the product case. So when you will work for the variance, make sure you give power 2 to this coefficient. Example, ex is 70 and vx is this, and we have this equation. And also ey is this and vy is this. We need a and b. So we have these informations. Now, number one, work for expectation. Take e on both sides. So when you will take e on both sides of this equation, you'll get this thing. When you will expand this, you'll get a ex b. You have ey 55 and ex 70. This is the equation 1. When you will work for variance, when you will take v on both sides, make sure you will expand this bracket like this. A square vx, 0. Now substitute the values here and get the answers, a and b. Rules for modulus. Well, rules for modulus, you have done these rules in normal distribution. When modulus z is less than a, you expand modulus of lesser sign in this way. So this is the solution of this modulus. You have done this in a normal distribution. If you want to review this, you can watch my lecture 1 on normal distribution. So minus a, and this is the required region. When we have greater sign, then we expand modulus in this way. Z less than minus a, Z greater than a, and these two regions are required. So if you find probability of this region, you just need to multiply this answer by 2 because they both are same. If this answer is 0.2, this must be 0.2. So 0.2 times 2 will give you total answer. So just work for this part, this thing. Example 1. Given x differs means modulus. X differs by less than 0.02 from y. You all know this is the basics of math. From y means y minus x. X differs by less than 0.02 from y means y minus x less than 0.02. So y minus x modulus less than 0.02. So this statement means this thing. And since we have lesser signs, so we need to expand this modulus in this way. And we need this probability. Now you just need to convert this in the form of z. Example 2. Y differs by more than 3 from x. So you need to write x minus y modulus greater than 3 like this and expand this modulus in this way. So you need these two probabilities. I hope this lecture will help you to understand the concepts of this chapter well. Inshallah, I will make the lecture of important questions of this topic soon. An important advice for me and for everyone: we should avoid backbiting. Allah Hafiz.